The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. I have come, it's cold and losing my control. The light is gone, the night has come, it's crazy. The night is gone, the I wish that you could save me from my isolation. My mind's too complicated. I stop this conversation. Control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. No relation. We got no relation. No relation. The night has come, it's crazy. The night is gone, and it goes like this. You could save me. My isolation, my mind's too complicated. I stop this conversation.
Hey, what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? I have an open invitation, but you're telling me go get lost. I don't wanna see your face. Yeah, what the hell? So why don't we stay out till the morning light? 'Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. Some Chardonnay, we camp in the parking lot. Leave traces of plastic cups. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get, so what the hell? Yeah, what the hell? So what the hell? So what the hell? What are you waiting for now?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're joining you here at the PIEA for week number 3 of our Marvel Rivals season. My name is Cherry J, joined by Soren. We got phenomenal matchups coming your way, and unfortunately, it will just be a single duel between two titans to start off our fall season. But Soren, I know you know a little bit more about the Marvel Rivals than me. You got that meta locked down to a key. What should we look for when locking this game down?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially as we are going first game, Intergalactic Empire, which is going to be domination. Expect very brawly compositions. This is the map and this is the game mode where you don't have to rely as much on flyers or poke, because there's so much fighting constantly happening. The Hulk and the Manor combination used to be a really good matchup for domination games. We'd see it picked up very, very often, but obviously since that team up, has been taken out of the game. We have seen pivot. I mean, Namor still getting a lot of play. The Namor Hela combination has been rising in popularity. But this is one where I'm expecting the Venom. I'm expecting a Captain America or something very heavy, something very divey. Also, the stall meta has very much come into effect. Just trying to keep the fights lasting as long as possible, or trying to stagger enemies, trying to completely remove them from the game plan. I mean, we have been seeing that with like Jeff, as well as other heroes, where it's just try to stay on point as long as physically possible and try to wear out your opponents and hopefully get the fight and stagger them in the process.
Now, both these two teams, this is actually going to be a cross-divisional matchup. One team coming in from the Colonial Division, one team coming in from Penn, as we will be seeing both rosters actually needing this win significantly. We are at the start of the 2025-2026 school year still. It is only October. However, it feels crazy to think that we're already halfway through the main season for the fall division. I mean, that's crazy to me. The fact that there's only 3 weeks left after this one. So we'll see what these two teams do have, as both are actually on the cusp of not clinching playoffs, as both are currently in the 4 seed of their current divisions with a 1-1 score line. Penn Manor and Spring Grove. Certainly two teams you expect to be doing well, as we know from previous years their Overwatch programs, Smash Bros programs, Valorant programs have looked good. But both these two teams with a 1-1 record still needing to show dominance within the Marvel Rivals season.
Yeah, absolutely. As we do get underway here with the picks and bans, we do see that Spider-Man ban immediately, which I think maybe, I don't know if that's a target ban or maybe just an annoyance ban. Spider-Man is actually especially strong on this map because in Burn T'Challa, there is so many different environmental factors and so many cliffs you could just fall off. So while not a super strong ban, you could definitely get a lot of value. So them banning it away, I don't think is too bad. The Emma Frost ban, I don't think that's surprising. She is still so far in the meta and still super strong. Nowhere near as dominant as she used to be, but still gets a lot of value. We see that Magic Protect as well as the Penny Parker Protect. I think those may be more pocket picks, not quite meta, but definitely you can get a lot of value out of both of those, with the Luna Snow obviously still super strong, the strategist, and Psylocke still one of the best duelists to play around.
We are going to be seeing a lot of options for these two teams, but as we are going to be seeing those picks clearing out the bans, as I don't know, personally I am just gonna have to wait and see, because I like the Doctor Strange idea. I think that the movement is going to be there, so I do have to give props for Penn Manor in that respect. However, I think that Spring Grove overall has a bit of a more well-rounded composition regarding how they are adapting to the current meta and kind of phasing out some picks that have recently been kind of sought less, as we are going to be seeing the Blade as something they look towards, which I know has recently gotten a buff. And along with that, the Rocket is in a similar situation with, I believe it was the Ultimate, that got a bit of a strength added to it. So I do think that there is certainly going to be those options that I like it. I think Spring Grove is certainly going to be looking good coming into this game.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, Blade has absolutely been growing into the meta. I mean, right now, there's been so much talk about strategists being super, super strong, and just completely defining the game. The healing output from pretty much all of them is insane. So having Blade with a little bit of that anti-heal has been a big game changer, and especially after some recent buffs and as well as some recent nerfs from other duelists, Blade has definitely been creeping up more and more into the meta. But beyond that, as we do see the rest of the compositions, we do see pretty standard, I believe, 2-2-2 across the board. Notably the Penny and the Groot. Definitely not a combination we typically see here on this map. Penny, again, might just be more of a comfort pick, but Groot, the walls that hero offers, just so much protection for the rest of the team. Not too surprised. Well, we see that Thor being operated by Rusty. Definitely been growing into the meta, has been doing a lot more damage, making them a lot more viable of a more dive champion, or excuse me, dive hero, paired up with Strange, who has also been getting better and better and getting back into that prime form that we saw back in like season 0 and season 1.
As the game will start off, obviously we take our footing towards domination. Key game mode, as it allows both teams to have an equal footing stepping into the roster, but the winner of this does not get to decide the next. So there's that opportunity, even if you lose, to be able to find succession. If you have that comfort pick your team is strong on. But we are just instantly seeing Penn Manor overwhelming, as we are seeing the execution on to the first point.
Yeah, absolutely. Fighting already taking place. A little bit scattered here from blue side, as Penny is going to be completely isolated away from the rest of the team. Not going to get much support, but that revive is going to be massive from the Rat Loser, as it does equal things out, though definitely very early to be utilizing that revive.
Bit of damage coming on in as the Winter Soldier looking to find a kill. It's going to be the Raccoon to fall. Coming in with the trade. Going to be seeming as if it won't matter for much, as we are going to get the double kill. Penn Manor taking this point in succession. Collecting another, as we are just going to be inevitably seeing them finding the stagger kill as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They are going to take first point. They're going to start getting that timer ticking, already securing that 10% mark, as it is a full reset here from blue side. This is going to be very difficult. Domination is very important to get that first point, because it becomes so much more difficult, especially in the current meta, to retake a point after having lost it rather than getting it ahead of time. Though, that being said, first kill is going to go over to Rat Loser. Strategist finding the kill. He's going to crack open this site.
There's the kill. Togi down, leaving a bit of damage to come on into play. Penn Manor going to be dropping ultimates inevitably. We will be seeing Togi getting the next. This kill comes on in. We are going to be seeing the Rocket taking in the damage, applying so much, making the strength go their way, as Spring Grove getting overwhelmed once more.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, time is ticking as well. 55% already secured, already over that halfway point. We're going to have to see a much better second half for map 1 here, or round 1, if we want to see them take the lead. But it is going, that's actually going to be an ultimate invested, just a penny. Off point, so not really going to do much but stall out and prevent them from staggering one of their vanguards.
Fluctuating the ultimates, starting out with a penny. Going to be the trade coming on in, as we will be seeing the Winter Soldier able to pick up the first, kitten down, leading to more. By the looks of it, is Spring Grove in a bit of a player advantage. We will be seeing more ults coming on into the action. Ruxty finding the double kill, leading to a bit of an extra dominate force as they take this hammer and start punching well. And they will be able to do just that. Togi, double kill, and on the board, that's going to do it. Spring Grove gets dominated by Penn Manor.
Yeah, and that is a very convincing victory. That's going to give him a lot of momentum here going into game number 2. But notably here with Baron T'Challa, every single map is just a little bit different. You know, Stellar Spaceport, I believe, is a lot more open. I would not be surprised. Yeah, you know, I would not be surprised if we see a little bit of change of composition. Though it doesn't look like we're going to see too much. Obviously, those Buckies are going to be 2 players to really look at. Bucky really strong in the current meta. There's even talks right now, like tier 1 players saying, you know, we're going to look back in 5 years at the game and go, why wasn't every team running Bucky in every game? Bucky just super good, especially in brawly situations, so not surprised to keep them sticking around. But this map, a lot more open, a little bit less condensed. It could be a completely different story here as we go into round number 2.
A lot of changes will be seen. The Thing coming into the action, looking to get a little bit more tankiness. We'll see what the apparels will be, as the parallels switching over to the Thing certainly are going to be nice. It allows you to get a little bit closer up into the action, shoving yourselves into your opponent's faces. Penn Manor going to be going for a bit of a teleport. Risky play will find success as the Thing taking the aggression, trying to get a little bit more damage. We will be seeing the Winter Soldier ultimate in hand. Do they invest? Answer doesn't seem to be yes just yet. So far, it's a standstill. No kills found, but it's going to be Penn Manor reaching the point first, grabbing out to it, as we need to see Spring Grove opening the site back up for contention, as they do find the first. Gonna be the Winter Soldier to collect. Rez comes through, as we are going to be seeing Penn Manor back on the front foot.
Yeah, Penn Manor taking the advantage here. Really only this Thing being the last one standing, and they are going to get sent back to spawn as well. Insanely good play, sending that magic onto point early. Make sure that there's no contest for like a really quick point take, but that portal play into the back line completely cuts off, you know, the side of Spring Grove from the point. It keeps them away. It puts them into an awkward spot, and they just capitalize on it. They get the full sweep. They immediately get points on the board, already passing the 25, now passing that 30% mark, as we see such a high line being played by Penn Manor, as they're just giving no room for Spring Grove to breathe.
Damage coming through. Spring Grove is going to be able to find a little bit of success as they take down the first. The kitten is off the board. Can they find more? Answer seems to be yes, as there's going to be the Thor slamming down the hammer, collecting another kill. Going to be a couple more, as this is going to be match point for the side of Penn Manor, looking to try and secure it, and it seems as if they will be able to do just that, as we get Troy taking down another kill. Excame pushing through, being unwavering, and as of now, they are dropping down like flies. 8 HP down to 0 as a triple kill from Penn Manor. Gonna be shutting the door on Spring Grove.
Yeah, and time is ticking. It's really important here as they're approaching that 75% mark, immediately having to pop that Eternal Bond just to get themselves out of their own spawn. It doesn't even look like that's going to be successful, as Crispy Kitten is just putting so much pressure, sitting by the spawn doors, not allowing some of these duelists to get out. Blade just might be dead off a rip here, as this team, Spring Grove, is just struggling to exist in this matchup.
Penn Manor, massive investment within the ultimates. 88%, 99, as that's going to do it. Penn Manor absolutely flourishing in the first match, as it is a best of 3. There's still options for Spring Grove to be able to mount a comeback. However, certainly looking unlikely after that domination that was performed by Penn Manor.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we go into game number 2, obviously it's going to be a convergence map that I believe is going to be picked by Spring Grove. So they will have a little bit of an advantage in that regard. But the thing about having domination up first is domination is played so drastically different from every other game mode. So who knows what happened? They might not have a good domination play, but swap over to convergence and it could be a completely different story. But I mean, that game, say we won about it, you got to give massive props to Togi there. 23 elims, 18 final hits as the Doctor Strange. Crazy. Not seen as one of the most outright damage heavy tanks, but still putting in some serious work to get their team over the line there.
Seeing the convergence as our next map. I'm not sure what the pick will be. I don't know if you have any options you'd imagine will be coming forth. I personally am a bit of a fan of Central Park, as I think that it's fun, it's nice, it's a little bit of a breath of fresh air, but there's always going to be that chance we will see just anything else. There's 3 options, and you're kind of playing that rock, paper, scissors, potentially, depending on how you're going to try and come in. If you imagine your opponents have some map pool that they might have practiced on, then you're going to definitely want to try and avoid it. But I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, thinking about Convergent and the map pool and its generality, I mean, Hologelia, That is a pretty common one to go to right now. Also, I think Symbiotic Surface. I don't think a lot of teams like playing for Central Park. That first point is can be very, very difficult to play around, both for defense and offense. So I think we only really see them when that starts, dipping into the best of 5 pool. But I really think Hollow Djalia or Symbiotic Surface is going to be the go-to. Most teams like Hollow Djalia. It's been out a little bit longer. It's a little bit more open. And then, that first kind of corner, as well as the back routes around for point number 1, gives the attack a lot of availability to get a flank that can just completely open up the map, as well as, having that first corner is very defensible. So a lot of teams do like to play that because there are very clear options for how to have a really strong hold or a push out, while Symbiotic Surface, it's just a lot more chaotic. It's a lot more portals. It's a lot more just running it down a very, tight corridor and hoping that you can either break through or hoping that your team doesn't collapse. So with all that being said, I think it will be one of those two, but who knows? I could be completely wrong in that regard.
Who knows? I mean, I don't know. I wanted to throw out a curveball, say maybe we'll see something different for once. Obviously, it is unlikely, but I wanted it. I thought it would be fun. Unfortunately, you're probably onto something. But I gotta say, this matchup so far, it's been good. It's been pretty back and forth. Obviously, towards that second point, Penn Manor really did start slamming the door on Spring Grove's face. However, this is kind of similar to what we see in a lot of other esports. Penn Manor, they're a quick team to adapt. They have a lot of different fresh talent littered across the esports scene, with both their Overwatch and Smash Bros teams making it to the championship last year, along with this new Marvel Rivals team certainly looking to live up to the hype. I love the way that they've been playing so far. Spring Grove, similar situation. We've seen that type of back and forth between the two teams. Unfortunately, actually, wanted to see these two teams play each other. Unfortunately, there was a forfeit earlier in the season within Overwatch, so maybe this could be Spring Grove's time to get that comeback. I don't know. Obviously, these two games are very similar to each other, so who knows? Maybe they're same players on both rosters, so that would be fun if we could see that coming into fruition. If they would be able to find some reverse sweep, bring it back 2-1. I personally, last week, I got to see a reverse sweep within the PIEA season. I mean, it wasn't really, as the first game was a 5v6, then the 6th person came back and they just won 2 games off of it. But, I mean,
it counts.
Who knows? Exactly, it does count. They did win. And we are going to be seeing Central Park. Oh my god, who would have guessed? Not me, but I will be seeing it, so you will too. Ladies and gentlemen, I like this. I think this is going to be a blast.
Yeah, this map is definitely a lot different from the other two. This one is where the Flyers really do kind of reign supreme. Obviously, Human Torch is still super, super powerful and super strong in the current meta, so I would not be surprised if we do see a ban or even a protect from either of these teams, as still super heavy prio. Emma, I will say, Emma was the first ban for this blue side for Spring Grove last game, and it is not going to be the case this time around. They are going to go for the Doctor Strange ban, which, especially on mobile objectives, has been getting more and more common, because those last minute contests from the portal plays are super, super powerful. So a lot of teams are relying on them, and in turn, a lot of teams are starting to ban them out because they do not want to deal with them. So not surprised in that regard.
We are going to be seeing a lot of standard ideas. Unfortunately, that Human Torch, like you said, it's not going to be impacted at all. At least not so far. Who knows? Maybe it will be a later to date thing. Currently, though, I do like the current ideas with the Winter Soldier. I think it's certainly one of the better options for these teams. The Strange as well is certainly something that I look for in a competent team. I think that teams that run this certainly do find a lot of advantages regarding how they can maneuver across the map. But I don't know. I think Spring Grove, as they are going to be picking their last couple of heroes, they are going to have to really try and dig deep within their ideas, work as a team, find that cohesivity, and be able to find a win here. And it does obviously start within the picks and ban phase. When it comes down to what's the comp we want to run, what's the comp we want to limit our opponents to, and if you can do that, it should be able to be smooth sailing from there on.
Yeah. And as we do start rounding out these last couple bands, I mean, we are definitely seeing a little bit of a change up, especially as, you know, the entirety of Spring Grove's band phase has pretty much been flipped on its head. You know, that Strange and that Rocket. Obviously, I believe it was the Emma and the Luna last time around, and it was a Penny Protect. And, you know, the side of Penn Manor just seeing that go, okay, that's fine. They keep their first 3, but they keep that Luna open by protecting her, and then ban away the Penny, which seemed like it was a comfort pick. So, you know, taking a lot of pieces off the board for Spring Grove. I'm intrigued to see how this goes. We do see that Namor get banned away, which I think is a very smart decision. Obviously, Crispy is now on that Magic, which you'd imagine they would stay on, but if that doesn't work out, if that Namor is open, they're already playing the Hela, and that combination has been getting so much playtime because it is super strong. So I think that was a very good ban, but I'm intrigued to see how it goes, because it does seem a little bit like Penn Mana came out on the you know, the high end of that draft and ban phase.
We are getting started, however, as we're going to be seeing Spring Grove making their way on through. Penn Manor going to be running the Hela, along with a couple of new picks coming on through, the Magneto being one of them, a newer option we haven't seen so far, I don't believe. Spring Grove sticking with the tried and true, not going to be keeping the thing in the pool, as we are going to be seeing them taken out of the commission, at least for the start of this map. And now as Penn Manor gets ready for their attacking side, we're going to have to see what they do have in store for us, as this is how it needs to begin. A good tone setter will determine whether or not they are going to be able to find success within this and find that 2-0 coveted victory.
Yeah, that Hawkeye, not something that we see get played very often, but it is being used to pretty good effect to kind of hold off this initial push. Though, yet again, we're seeing so much pressure in onto that backline from the dive of Crispy Kitten on this Magic, as they just kind of run down Spring Grove here. Kills go the way of Penn Manor, and now Emma, really being the last player to hold this line, is going to fall. There's 2 up, but I don't know if this Hela could really do anything about it.
Now, Manor taking the start. This capture is done and dusted. Spring Grove forced to regroup, rally within this checkpoint. And finding success here, it's going to be difficult. That's one thing nobody is going to be contesting, as we know both these teams, they have that firepower within the arsenal, within the rosters. We will be seeing a bit of a standstill, as allowing Penn Manor to just take aggression.
Yeah, and I think we are going to be doing a pause here, because I think one of the players ended up crashing. I don't know if they... waiting to see if the actual pause comes through here. At least the teams are being rather kind about it and not actually doing anything, just stalling out. Though this is a little unfortunate for the attack side, who's also the ones dealing with the crash.
Yeah, they're forced to just sit here. That's tragic. If you're on the side of Penn Manor, this time bank is going to be limited. Obviously, it's not going to matter too much, as there is still a mountain of time remaining for this roster. But it is eventually going to be... Oh, maybe got paused? Oh, never mind. We are good. Penn Manor is back.
Okay, they're agreeing to resume at 4:10. So good sports all around. We love good sportsmanship here. And yep, with that, they are immediately going to get back underway. Both teams pretty good positioning here, as Clixon is immediately trying to isolate that Luna, not going to find the kill, and is going to be punished by Rusty, just removing them from play.
Tragically going to be back on the action. As soon as they drop a player, they get back in and they mount this comeback, successfully finding everyone out of commission, limiting anything. Rusty finds the kill, sniping their opponents, as we are going to be seeing the Hela ult relinquish in the end, inevitably going to be able to find a little bit of value, but now having to fight another engagement without it. Certainly going to be looking to build that up ASAP.
Yeah, absolutely. As they continue to march us forward, we do see this Ionic Seduction come out to try to find something, but immediately gets shut down. The hand of Khonshu invested as well. So much investment here. Though it does look like the attack did get off the cart for a little bit, so it did stall momentarily. But I mean, unfortunately, this Cloak and Dagger is really the only one in position to do anything, and they're just gonna have to pretty much watch and die as they're trying desperately and won't be able to get to the cart in time. Point number 2 is secured. Meteor N, though, is gonna find one, I think. Though all these kills are gonna go to the side of Spring Grove, but it's a little too late. Time's already back onto the clock.
Pushing their way on through. We are very close to being this game into a conclusion and bringing it to that finale. Certainly something that Spring Grove will like to limit, as they do have 2 ultimates available, frozen in place. Unfortunately, we are going to be seeing the Winter Soldier up board. Ult comes in, Rusty finds one, gets the trade, Crispy Kitten down, leaving Spring Grove in a 4v5, making it a 4v4 off the equalizer.
Okay, a very good response here for Spring Grove as they find the kills that they need. Though in this tight area, I don't know how else is going to go for this Punisher. And actually, the Thing, super good at controlling territory, especially in those tight areas, is going to find value. The Magic being hunted down in the process. A little bit of a stagger here from Penn Manor as they keep trying to fight like 2v5s, and they just need to back away in full reset. The Rusty is pushing super aggressive. Goddess of Death is going to be invested, hoping to find something.
Finding the value, looking to keep Spring Grove off the board. Unfortunately, it is going to be limiting the time they have. 2 minutes and 40. They've been dropping down. That after they took that little bit of a pause, Spring Grove was able to stall the point at least for a little bit, but as of now, the HP just starts demolishing, and oh my god, dropped off the side of the map.
Yeah, that's definitely rough. One of the Vanguards immediately getting staggered away. Clobbering time comes through. I don't know if they're going to find the kills off of this, but it's certainly going to stall. No, Rusty is continuing this tear through the side of Spring Grove, just removing one after another. But this choke point, very difficult to push through. But we do have the Magic diving into the back line.
Does seem like Penn Manor able to slam the door. Spring Grove down and out. The HP falters as the rest of the team gets demolished on the point. We see this Magneto taking an extra bit of aggression, and that will do it. 1:50 is all they have left, but that's more than enough time after completely destroying this first side. Spring Grove now gets their chance to take the attack, but how much can we even expect from them at this point? I don't think they're going to be able to find much, Soren, but we'll have to find any type of contestation from them.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a little bit of desperation hour here for Spring Grove, needing to show some signs of life, as the last 2 game and a half, I guess I'll call it, have been a little bit weak for them, or it could have just been an extremely good game from Penn Manor, as the momentum just seems to be never ending for them. Though I will say, I do think this is a little bit of a defensive side of map, so it's going to be a bit of a mountain to climb. The Hulk pickup, I'm not completely sure about, but it is finding some value. The Exile really is helping set up the combination of the Exile with some CST from the I believe they have the Luna Snow, or excuse me, the Invisible Woman, as well as the Thing. It just allows a lockdown potential that they've been taking advantage of. So while I don't think it's super strong, I think they're still going to find some value. Super dive heavy composition here. I'm almost expecting a little bit of a flank here from one of these Vanguards and the Magic.
Spring Grove mounting their attack, making this ploy to be able to find any way to be able to bring themselves back on into this game. But already with Penn Manor finding this opening blow, it's making this seem unlikely to a pulp. And now Spring Grove forced to play the retake once more, trying to wait and stall for that last player to be enacted, as we see Sarius taking a bit of aggression, able to drop the opponent's 2 low HP lines, but being able to find the kill, whole different story. Ends up going to be the side of Spring Grove to find the first. The crispy crit and gonna be down. Ceres taken out of their position, forced onto the bottom of the point. The verticality has been lost. That's gonna allow Spring Grove to be able to gain a little bit of momentum, I'd imagine. But as of now, it's just an all-out brawl.
Yeah, especially as it looks like the Punisher is going to be taking the position of the previous Bucky. So that might be something here for the attack side, giving a little bit of an open as they are pushing the side of Penn Manor back into the point. They're struggling to find a kill, though, in the process, which is proving to be a little bit of a struggle. But right now, it is just an extended brawl. And I was going to say, sooner or later, we're going to have to start dealing with strategist ults. And that is going to be the first one. Eternal Bond, a little bit late there. Was having to wait for it to come through. But that might actually be in their favor, as no one died after that invisible barrier.
Spring Grove dropping down, losing the first players. We will be seeing the ultimates coming into action. Gonna be Himox to try and get something done, but the blade swinging hand in hand, unable to find too much. Gonna be a kill. Oh, Grexo down as it leaves Sirius as well off the board, slamming on in, gets another pick. As that might just do it. That might give Spring Grove all they needed to inevitably be able to find a fight win.
Yeah, that is massive. Looks like we might be dealing with another crash here. A little bit unfortunate here. Again for the attack side. Oh, Togi is... I didn't know Togi... I didn't know you could have such a low health bar. Okay, yeah, this is a little bit awkward here, especially as we are pretty low on time here for the attack side. Hopefully this crash comes in quickly.
Certainly unfortunate. It is showing pretty good sportsmanship, though. Spring Grove going to be allowing their time bank to be brought down. But unfortunately, if you're on the side of Penn Manor, with this player who keeps on DCing, it's going to be looking rough for sure. But as of now, Penn Manor back on into the action. Going to be contesting the thing, taking a bit of an HP, falling down. Heals come through as we are going to be seeing the ultimate from the Hulk. First kill comes in. Spring Grove able to pick up the kill. Going to be the ult coming in from the Luna Snow, trying to bring it back to Tides. But as of now, it's going to be Spring Grove. Keeps on clobbering as we are going to be seeing the ultimate relinquished. No longer available. The Magneto low HP line going to be the same with a couple more players. Still not going to matter. Sirius able to find one. Getting that first is nice, but you need to keep it up. As the Hulk falls down, that's going to be a second off the board, trying to get out of the fray, but it's not going to be for long, as we will be seeing Gnome taken down. Sirius gets another kit and finds the third. That's going to do it. Spring Grove, 20 seconds left. Penn Manor dominating the battlefield once more.
Yeah, and I mean, I think... I don't know if, Doctor Strange is banned out, actually. So, no, I don't think they have the Doctor Strange available. So, no fast recontest. And with time ticking, I don't know if they're going to get anyone to the point. No, they won't. A lot invested at the end there, and it all comes futile as Penn Manor take the game 3-0 and take the series 2-0. Very dominant fashion for them.
Certainly not something that we would have expected when you take a look at that first point of the first map. It seemed as if this would be a back and forth series. Unfortunately for Spring Grove, Penn Manor, just such a dominant force. It took so much out of their arsenal to be able to find the win, but in the end, despite the challenges, the hardships they faced, they were able to find the win successfully at the end of this series. Week 3 going to be going up 2-1 within the standings.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really does come off of, I think, Crispy Kitten and Togi there. 21 elims and 20 elims, 12 apiece for final hits. I mean, just so much pressure from that Magneto and so much pressure onto the back line from the Magic. That Magic was something that I kept looking at. Obviously, it was the first protect in both games. And I was saying that might be a comfort pick. It's not terribly meta. It's not out of meta, but it's definitely not the go-to. But you could still find a lot of value. And man, did they find the value just constantly in the back line, drawing out support ultimates. I mean, we saw in that game, Crispy Kitten going in, finding a kill on point there, drawing out the Luna Snow, Fate of Both Worlds, and then immediately leaving the point to go deal with the last couple players on Spring Grove who were just off of it. So just doing exactly what you want to see from the Magic. Insanely well played. Also, I mean, I mentioned Togi, but that front line, it just seemed like they could never be dealt with. And Magneto, one of those stronger DPS vanguards, they were just wreaking havoc on the side of Spring Grove. So massive performance from Penn Manor across the board.
Not the end for Spring Grove either. You take a look at their standings. They are still going to be 1 and 2. Some of the players, some of the teams below them, they are going to still be able to clinch that number 4 spot based on the current up-to-date standings. So there's definitely that potential for this roster to be able to make it to the playoffs. Face off against McDowell, who currently holds the number 3 roster spot, but I don't know. I think for the side of Penn Manor, it was a must-win game, as they do still have a lot of teams close up to them when it comes to that standings, with Carlisle, who still is yet to play a single game, and that could possibly cause a bit of a threat to their reign when it comes to the playoffs. Now, teams like Central Buck South, Wyoming Valley West, Gateway, and Penn Trafford, those are the opposition these two teams both look to be able to take down, as they are the top 4 teams within the entire Marvel Rivals Division 1 season. But we'll have to wait and see which one of them will be able to be crowned with the Titans up in that section. Currently, though, I do think you really do look towards Penn Manor as a big powerhouse team within the Marvel Rivals season, with a couple players Diamond, a couple players Bronze, a big array of ranks to showcase. And I do think that that's going to be able to lead them to have that discussion of how are we going to improve ourselves? How are we going to successfully take over this Marvel Rivals season?
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, we are approaching, the last couple weeks here of the group. So playoffs are in sight. And with a team doing this well, I mean, you also have to take into account every win is not just closer to, securing a playoff spot, but it's also all about seeding. Seeding is so important, especially once you get to the playoffs. So every win that you can get on the board here is going to be massive for either of these teams. So Penn Manor, I think, is going to be very, very happy with their win today. And I think they're going to be feeling good. And especially after how convincing of a win it was, hopefully they take that momentum and keep running with it, because they looked really, really good today.
Exactly. I'm super excited to see whether or not they will be able to inevitably find more wins within the season, but that is going to do it here today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in to this PIEA stream. Make sure to tune in tonight for some Rocket League action. I think Smash Bros action as well coming on through within the Waynesburg University and Job Corps League. Make sure to come back next week, as we will be back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with Overwatch, Valorant, Marvel Rivals, and some other action. I don't remember other games. Rocket League, that's the one. But that is going to do it here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you, Soren, for coming on screaming at video games with me. Thank you to High Tech Lowlife for being the person pressing buttons. I don't understand half the things he does, and our GOAT deserves more recognition. But that is going to do it here today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. See you next time. Peace.